Part of the European employment problem in the late 1980s and early 1990s did indeed look a lot like the problem that the United States faces right now. Their economies were growing. They weren't growing fast enough to put a major dent in the unemployment rate. That's where we are. And it was really for the same reason that employers had very low new hire rates. They had very few vacancies. People who had jobs could hang on to their jobs. In fact, employment protection laws in Europe were very, very strong. The lack of dynamism of the European job markets back then was just that employers weren't adding a lot to their payrolls. There wasn't high levels of turnover. There weren't new people being hired every month, and then unemployment stayed high. The concern I have is a political one. After a while, we saw in the late 1980s, early 1990s in Europe, European governments seemed to take less and less cognizance of their really severe long-term unemployment problem. Voters got used to it, policymakers were not rewarded for dealing with it, and the problem of long-term unemployment just fell out of people's minds. It didn't seem like an urgent problem. And it's understandable. Most people who are employed faced low risk of losing their job. Their wages were improving, maybe not robustly, but they were improving. Their living standards were improving. That's the situation we face right now in the United States. If you're employed, your incomes have been rising now for the better part of a year or year and a half. It's only the people who are long-term unemployed who are taking the brunt of this terrible shortfall from what the economy can produce.